What we're going to be doing today is going from this to this. Now it might be a subtle change, but unfortunately my interior door handle broke off on my driver's side, so what a good time to replace those interior parts. I was able to find a deal where I was able to get both handles on the inside of the door, plus the door handle cover, for only $60, and that came with both sides, passenger and driver. Let's get this done. Today should be a quick one. First thing that we're going to do is take this handle off. It's easy. All you got to do is take a screwdriver, get underneath the handle here, and just pry it up nice and easy all the way down along the seam, and then it should just come right off. I'm not worried about scratching any of this stuff or even this because I got new parts. If you're only replacing the door handle and not this, then obviously be careful. You don't want to break this or scratch this. It just pops off nice and easy. Next thing I'm going to do is take off this screw right here, which you guys can see. Make sure you set these somewhere safe. You're going to reuse all these screws. Don't lose them. Next screw is going to be one right here inside the door cover. You can clearly see that with your eyes when you're doing this. Now what I'm going to do is take this door cover off. All you're going to want to do is move your door handle piece out of the way, and it comes right off. Now, as you can see here in the video, this is just ridiculously scratched up and disgusting. Since I've had this car, the door handles have had this weird sticky stuff all over them. I'm finally getting around to changing them, so excited to get these out of here. These interior door handles are a lot easier to replace than the exterior. If you watch my video on the exterior door handle, you know that it was a pain in the butt. These ones are a lot easier. So we have a screw right here that we're gonna go ahead and unscrew. Once that's loose, the only other two things that we gotta worry about is these two cables here in the back. There's one on top, which is for the door locking mechanism. As you can see, that moves back and forth when I unlock and unlock. And then there's another one underneath, which is right here, which is what actually unlatches the door and opens it up. So let's go ahead and unscrew this screw here first, and then I'm going to show you what to do with these cables. You're going to want to be careful with this screw because if you drop it, it's going inside the door jamb. Then you got to take that off just to get the screw. Okay, so now we have the two cables to deal with. You'll see that there's two pink plastic pieces there. All I'm going to do is take a screwdriver and gently pry back this way to pop them off. I'm going to do the top, I'm going to do the bottom. And then if you look here, you'll see that the cable, the rubber part of the cable, is slid into almost like a bracket. Again, I'm just going to take my screwdriver and pop it off here and pop it off there. You want to do these nice and gently because there's plastic pieces in here, and obviously we have to reuse these cables and we don't want to break anything. So be very careful, be patient, don't try and rush this. Alright, those are off. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing up here. See, look, they really just slide right out. Just be careful. No reason to rush the process. Perfect. Cool. Alright, so those are out. Okay, so now that's done, these plastic pieces actually insert into the pink parts here. So you're just going to want to try and get them up. I'll show you what I mean here in a second. I'll show you what it looks like. You'll see that it has a tab on it. And this little tab actually sets down into the pink thing. So just make sure you clip them up, push them up. Perfect. Alright, now we're ready to get this thing out of here. So if you see in here, there's a plastic tab, and there's actually three of them. There's one here, and then there's two behind these door locking mechanisms and whatnot. All I'm going to do is take my flathead and a rubber mallet, and I'm going to gently hit it this way, away from the left hand side of the door, so that they become free and it'll come right out. I'm going to go ahead and zoom out, that way you guys can see what I'm doing here. Simple as that. And now this should just go ahead and pop right out once these cables are out of the way. Well, I just broke that, but that's okay because we're replacing it. Okay, there it is. As you can see, it takes some finagling, but I'm replacing this. So if I break anything else on this particular piece, I don't really care. I just don't really want to break the plastic on these cables, so be careful. All right, just to give you an idea of exactly the difference between the parts here. The top is the original, bottom is the new one. And like I said, since I've had this car, these have just been scratched up and had this sticky stuff all over it. I have no idea what it is, but there's key marks and everything else. Obviously, we got a nice brand new one here. This is the interior handle to the door. I decided to go with silver parts to match the rest of the accents inside the car, but they do sell them in black as well if you want to get black. And then obviously the door handle here that broke just whoosh, came right off. So it's been a struggle to open up the door. So I'm excited to get these things replaced. Now let's put it all back together. And also on a side note, we just put this carbon fiber hood on. If you want to see how I did that and repurpose the entire thing, watch the video up here. Alright, so before you just start putting things back together, it's important to do things in a certain order, just because it'll make things easier on you. So in order to do this, to make it easy, you're going to want to put the door handle in first. Don't try to connect the cables. So get these cables out of the way. Go ahead and slip this inside. Best you can anyway. Go like that. Alright, so again, there's 3 tabs, plastic tabs. You're going to want to try and line it up in the holes first for all 3 of them. And I believe they were pretty close. And you'll know if you're in because you'll hear what you just heard there, which is a nice little clicking sound almost. So now I know all 3 tabs are in. Once that's in, I'm going to go ahead and put that screw in here, the one that we took out. And I'm going to do that because I just want it to stay in place while I'm working with it. This shouldn't, because those 3 tabs are pretty tight, but we're going to go ahead and do this anyway. Good, now that's nice and secure. Now we're going to go ahead and mess with these cables. So before you start just pressing things in and everything else, see, like that right there. I just want to be careful not to break anything. Get that back around. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press these tabs into the purple clips first. I'm going to go ahead and press them down and then go ahead and clip them into place, and then I'm going to push the rubber piece into the slot that it needs to be. So what I'm going to do is use some needle nose pliers here. I'm going to grab these plastic tabs. I'm going to do my best to get them back in place. Maybe not, maybe we can get it. Oh, we got it. Look at that. Didn't even have to move the camera. Okay. Take the tab, lock it in like so. Move on to the next one. Alright. Finishing touch. Take our new handle and it just snaps right into place. Boom. All done.